Hello everyone, Artemu the Violet Wizard here, and today we are continuing the Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Last time, we explored quite a bit of Hyrule, getting to know the sites around Lon Lon Ranch, as well as Kokiri Village and Goron City, in order to prepare ourselves for our next challenge, which is going to be the next dungeon on our adventure, the Dodongos Cavern. Now, quickly before we go into this dungeon, I do want to make note of one very important thing. Before going into this dungeon, I highly recommend that you manage to have a Hylian shield, as it's going to be much better in here than the Deku shield. So the Hylian shield you're able to acquire by two main means here in this game, either buying it from the shop in Hyrule Castle Town, or finding one for free inside the Kokiri Village graveyard. You're able to acquire a Hylian shield by either of those two means, and I highly recommend having one before jumping into this area. So with all of that said, how about we just go right into the cavern? Oh, I've been so excited for this. It's been quite a while since the last stream session, so I was really excited to get started on this here. Just want to set this bomb down in front of this wall, and that opens the way forward. Dodongos Cavern. This is the second dungeon we have seen in our adventure, and definitely a step up from the great Deku tree we saw before. It looks like there are many lava pits around here, so watch your step. Yep. Unlike what we saw in the first dungeon, this area is a fire-themed area. So we got lava pits here, as well as some new enemies. Beamos. Watch out for its searching beam. I bet it doesn't like smoke to get in its eye. Beamos here is definitely a pretty intimidating enemy. They are a returning enemy from A Link to the Past, and have pretty much stayed with the series ever since. These guys will have their big eyeballs on top of their body, and it will rotate around, and if it catches you in its line of sight, it will shoot a laser at you. Luckily, you're able to stay out of their range if you distance yourself far enough from those guys, so it's important to keep in mind. However, Navi noted that these guys do not like smoke, so if you throw a bomb at them, that'll easily take them out. That's pretty much the main method you're going to be taking care of Beamos, so definitely keep that in mind. Starting things off here, I wanted to grab this chest that was behind this wall we had to blast, for it contains the dungeon map. It's going to give us a very good view of things inside the dungeon here. This place doesn't have as many floors as the Great Deku Tree, but there are a lot of chambers we're going to be seeing around here. It's definitely more intimidating than what we saw before. There's a Deku Scrub over there, but I really don't feel the need to talk to him. He's not going to be important to us. Just gonna quickly get past this Beamos here. Gotta see a little bit of its laser it was shooting out. And want to head over to the right side of this chamber now, which is the way we're actually supposed to go in order to advance through here. Yeah, Dodongos Cavern is an interesting dungeon. It is a step up in terms of complexity and difficulty from what we saw previously of the Deku Tree. So, going through here is going to be pretty interesting, and nice to show off some new things that we're going to be seeing as we're going forward. Obviously, the main theme around this area is using bombs, as they're going to be very important to us throughout our adventure. Now that we have the Goron bracelet, we're able to pick up bombs from the bomb flowers, which are definitely very useful. Now, this room introduces some new enemies here. Baby Dodongos. Watch out for its leaping attack. It will explode after it's defeated. These guys can be a little tricky to deal with, but as long as you attack them and then distance yourself, you don't have to worry about them exploding. So they do leave behind some rupees when you kill them, which is nice. Want to quickly note that Navi is hovering up there on that ledge and glowing green. We're going to want to remember that for much later on in our adventure. Now, something over here I definitely want to try and show off. If we can lure one of these baby Dodongos over by this wall and then attack these guys, we can have them explode, blowing up that wall. Normally, you're not supposed to be able to enter this room until much later. However, because I knew that trick for dealing with for using the baby Dodongos, I was able to get in here early. Just want to take out the keys over there before they can fly at us. And then we can attack this gold Skulltula. Ow. Just do a simple jump, and we can collect its token. Zip, we're all done there. Alright, so let's get over here. Just like to try and avoid these Dodongo babies if I can, but I don't know, they're really not too bad. Just get out of the way before they explode, and they're pretty easy to deal with. Now over here, there's a door that appears to be locked, and we have this switch here. You step on the switch, that opens the door. Great, right? Nope. So these blue switches are special. They need to have a weight on top of them in order for them to be pressed down. You can't simply just walk on it and then it will stay. You need to weigh it down. So we're going to push this statue on top of it, and then we'll be able to progress. Yeah, definitely a lot of cool mechanics that are being introduced in this area. Definitely good for getting you practice with a lot of mechanics that are going to be pretty important going forward. So now through this door, prepare yourselves for a fight. Got ourselves some new enemies here. Lizalfos. Use your shield well and fight with Z targeting techniques. Got some returning enemies from Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. Lizalfos are honestly pretty simple to deal with if you know their pattern. They will try to attack you with your swords, at which point you will need to attack them with your sword. So simply guard, attack, and we're able to just easily deal with these guys. Yeah, they're really not too bad, despite how intimidating they may seem. Also, a trend I really like about the Lizalfos in the series is that they tend to have a different appearance in between games, based on various different types of lizards. In this game, they're kind of similar in appearance to either monitor lizards or Anole lizards, which I do like. But once both of the Lizalfos go down, the way is now open. It's definitely one of the battles that early on really gets you to appreciate how useful the shield is in this game. Like, definitely going to showcase it off a lot more as the game progresses, but our shield is going to be very important to us as the game advances, especially when it comes to combat. So I believe the only thing in this room is a business scrub, and I don't see you being important to us, so we're just going to leave you. But this room is going to be interesting because we got a new enemy here, Dodongo. Watch out for its fiery breath. Use Z targeting techniques. So this was the enemies that we were warned about by the Gorons as having infested the Dodongo's cavern. These guys, of course, you want to attack them from behind, and when you take them out, they explode. Because of course they do. I believe that's not the only way of taking out these guys, however. We do not have the current equipment to get to show something off. So we're just going to forget that, and what you want to do for these guys is try to do a jump attack, because that easily does the most damage and can take them out like instantly. If you use a normal attack and they survive, then they will do a tail swipe in order to try and damage you. It can be pretty annoying, especially because it can knock you back. But besides that, Dodongos really aren't too much trouble. And they're a pretty elusive enemy, much like the Goma larva we encountered back in the Great Deku Tree. They're only found in a few areas. Alright, so want to progress through here. Want to quickly light our Deku Stick on fire, and then want to light these torches along here. There's 3 of them we need to light. And that opens the door. Very good. So now they're over here. We can press down on this switch, which opens up the door over on the other side of the entranceway. Very good. Let's just go around here to avoid you. And I'm going to completely ignore the pillar there, because there's actually a ladder we can climb up here. Alright, so a lot of this dungeon has you crisscrossing between different sides of the dungeon in order to be able to access certain things throughout the different layers of the dungeon, which definitely interesting in a few ways. Something I want to really note about this room. You'll want to remember this location for later. We're going to be diving into just why in a little bit, but it's very important to note that this room will be important much later on. So to blast open this wall here, we got ourselves another room. It's got a big chest here surrounded by statues, so let's encounter a new enemy. This is Armos. Stop its movement and then destroy it. It's a classic enemy all the way from the original Legend of Zelda. These guys can be a little tricky, being these sentient statues that will try and attack you any chance they get if you get too close. So what we want to do with these guys, since we're not really strong enough to take them out ourselves, want to try and catch you in an explosion. Come on. There we go. And once he takes that hit, he'll just start spinning around before exploding. And that's how you deal with Armos. They're going to be a bit easier to deal with later on in our adventure, but for now they're a little tricky. But by doing that, we get the compass, which is definitely going to make finding all the treasures in this place a lot easier. So we can now check our map to see where all the treasure chests are, as well as where the boss is located. Alright, so next, what we want to do here in order to progress, want to place this bomb right in the middle of these rows of bomb flowers, setting off a chain reaction and causing the pillar to come down. It's very good, allowing us to press onward. Oh man, still thinking about what we're going to need to do in this room later. Yeah, this area will be important to remember for a later time. As for the time being, there are things that we cannot reach here. Is there anything in this pod we could use? Yeah, definitely appreciate that added health. And over here, you know it, there's a regular Skulltula there, and there's also a gold Skulltula, which we can then climb up these vines in order to collect. So you're probably seeing the gap of the vines there. There is another gold Skulltula in this room. We're not getting that for a while. Trust me. I say now in this room we got some new threats here. This is a fire keys. Destroy it before it flies into you. If you don't, its flames will burn up your Deku shield. These guys can be a pain to deal with, especially if you do not have a Hylian shield with you. You can attack them from the distance with your slingshot, which I definitely recommend doing. And yeah, they can be a pain if you don't have the proper equipment to deal with these guys. especially if you have your Deku shield out, because if they attack you, they will burn up your Deku shield, and you will no longer have one, so you'll have to go buy a replacement. A little annoying, but it's not too bad, as we have already shown that they are worth 40 rupees at the shop in Kokiri Forest, and we can easily afford that. But, yeah, I wanted to avoid losing that, which is why I recommend picking up the Hylian shield. Alright, now this room is going to be a bit interesting. This room has some new hazards for us. You never know what'll be around the corner in these narrow paths. You said targeting to always look in the proper direction. This is a useful technique, isn't it? So this room has some new hazards for us. Blade traps. These are a pretty annoying thing we're going to have to be dealing with throughout the rest of the game. So the way blade traps work is that they will be moving along a set path, and if you are in close proximity to them, they will quickly rush out and then try to inflict damage. We really don't want that, so we're going to be leaving those guys to where they are. And there's a heart there that we're not going to need. So what I want to do is push this block. Well, we're going to pull it over here, giving us an easier way up this ledge. And then we got a little bit of a tricky bit here. This is something that has always messed with me, no matter how many times I play this game. So what we gotta do is time our bomb throw so that it's able to get up onto that ledge and have the bomb explode. Yep, there it is. In order to break that wall. Alright, what is in this chest? I'm guessing rupees. Yeah, we got 20 rupees. Very good. And we just hop onto this ladder here in order to progress onward. It's got a little fire trap here, but if we shoot that eye, we're able to put the fire out, allowing us to proceed forward. Definitely want our sword out here because we got some more Dodongo babies. I quite like the look of these guys, even though they are pretty volatile. They're pretty cute looking as well. And now we got some familiar faces here, so we gotta deal with some more Lizalfos. Here, you. Something I could actually recommend fighting these guys is actually not to use your Kokiri sword. I would recommend using the Deku stick against these guys. It breaks on a hit, but the Deku stick will actually deal more damage to enemies than it would with the Kokiri sword. So, yeah, we are going to be using the Deku sticks a lot more often for this game because they are definitely very useful against a lot of enemies. And by this point, we have a big surplus of Deku sticks thanks to the upgrades we were able to receive before, so we don't really need to worry too much about them. But yep, as I said before, Deku sticks are really useful in combat. They do more damage than your little Kokiri sword. And you're able to replenish your supplies pretty handily, especially if you return to the Kokiri Forest. Also, something I want to note is that this room is actually a higher level area of the room where we fought the original Lizalfos in this dungeon, which is a nice little detail I like about this place, showing how all these rooms connect together. Also, hello, local Weebo5, who I believe is my friend Nate. Things are going good now. We're making some good progress into The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time now, which has been a game I've been really looking forward to streaming for quite a few months now. Whew. So now that we jumped all the way up here, something new we're able to collect from this chest here. I've been really excited for this. You found a bomb bag! This bomb-holding bag is made from a Dodongo's stomach. Ew. You found 20 bombs inside. Now you can set bombs to see and blow stuff up. What a lucky guy. So yeah, this is definitely a very handy item. One of the most useful tools we're going to have throughout our journey. We are now able to plant or throw bombs wherever we want. It's a very helpful tool that we are going to see a lot of use from for the rest of this journey. With that said, I want to plant this bomb over by this wall. We wouldn't have been able to access this area until this point, so I want to make note of it. And there's just a couple of these guys. I really don't think they're going to be that useful to us, so we're going to have to head back. So sadly, if we're actually going to advance further, we're going to need to retrace our steps in order to get back up to the point where we need to. So, just going to take a little while to retrace our steps. In the meantime, I thought I would take the opportunity to talk about some stuff that has been going on as I've been a little busy with stuff lately. Like, I just got out of a 4-week period at my job, and I'm very looking forward to today because not only was I streaming, but I got to participate in some activities with some people in another Discord server. So yeah, for the last couple of months, we have been running our own friendlock sessions in that server. And very recently, we have been doing a randomized leaf green in a playthrough for our friendlocks, and it's been going pretty good. Today was the first time in about a month that we actually got to have a session in, and I was very happy for it because I've been really aching to portray a certain character again. But we're going to set that aside for now because by hitting that switch there, makes one of the pillars in this room start to raise to the higher levels, giving us a quick shortcut to this side of the area. Link, I don't need you to climb on that. Giant dead Dodongo. When it sees red, a new way to go will be open. So we got a clue about something we're going to need to do in order to advance further. So you could probably guess over here by the big statue of the... Well, I don't know if it's a statue or if it's meant to be the skull of a giant Dodongo. But you want to drop your bombs into the eye sockets of the giant skull. Don't fall, buddy. Don't fall. Just get into position. And drop them right in. Now that we blasted that open, it causes the lower jaw to fall, thus opening the path forward. Again, I really like the structure of this place and how it all connects back into this central room. And has you going through the different layers of this area. It's very cool the way it's designed. But with that, we're able to pick up these blue rupees. And we are now finally ready to head into the belly of the beast, so to speak. Let's actually ride this pillar down. With that switch on, the moving platform goes higher. Now you can quickly reach the second floor. Yes, Navi, I know. So wait for you to start to lower and then jump on. Mainly wanted to do that because this game does have fall damage. So if you fall from a high enough height, you will be taking a bit of damage from that. That's why I wanted to be careful. It's got some keys here. Oh, he's coming right for us! Whew! Want to see if I could try to snipe him with the slingshot, but didn't really take. Ow! Jerk! Alright, we got that guy taken care of. So before we can head off to the boss, there is one last trial we need to face. So we want to head this way. To this room. This tends to be the room that I'm the least familiar with when it comes to this dungeon. I don't know, just a lot of other interesting set pieces in this dungeon, I don't really think of this room all too much. Just want to climb up here, and we can just quickly climb up here. You can see that there is a place that we can access over there. But I want to just head this way and push this block down, giving us a quick way back up. So got a fairy here in case you want to heal up or put it into a bottle. I already have a fairy in a bottle, so I don't really need to worry about that. What I do want to do is blow open this wall, because I suspect that there is going to be something good in here we're actually going to want to pick up. Yeah. Scott, wouldn't you know it, another Armos statue. Come here, bud. Wow, we're actually able to take out the gold Skulltula without having to worry about the Armos. And I believe that's everything we needed in here. Except for taking care of that, we are done. Oh, come on, the block resets? I forgot about that. I'm nervous here because we got these fire keys, and they can start dive bombing us at any point. Oh, I hear him approaching. Something I definitely like about the sound design of this game is that they have a certain audio cues for when an enemy is approaching you. And you can easily just listen to the sounds playing in the game in order to figure out what's happening. Definitely something I really appreciate in this game. The sound design in general, this game is really good. And I know I haven't really praised it much at this point, but the soundtrack as well is just really good and fits the setting of the game perfectly. Like, the composer Koji Kondo did such a good job on this soundtrack. It's phenomenal. Definitely some of his most iconic work. And he has already done a lot of work on not only Zelda, but also various games in the Mario and Star Fox series. Come here, buddy. There we go. But now then, what I wanted to do was move this block that was up on that high ledge over to the center of the room to trigger another switch. And that opens the path forward to the boss lair. Just want to quickly make sure, yep, we got every chest. So, let us move on. So you may have noticed on the map, but we currently do not have all of the gold Skulltulas that we could have picked up here. We're gonna have to come back in order to get the rest of the gold Skulltulas. If we open up that chest there, we can grab some bombs, which you can probably guess we're gonna need to blast open the floor here. And let us head down. Infernal Dinosaur, King Dodongo. So I love the frickin' camera work there, how it puts you in the perspective of King Dodongo as he approaches you. But anyway, we got our second boss here, King Dodongo. This is a huge Dodongo that eats anything. Give it a shock and finish it off with your sword. So this guy is probably a contender for one of the easiest bosses in this game. If you give him time, he will inhale before letting loose a blast of fire. Afterwards, he will begin rolling. So in order to deal with this guy, you want to throw a bomb into his open mouth and then attack him when he is stunned. And simply move to the side so that he can roll, rinse, and repeat. Now, why I say this guy is one of the easiest boss in the game is because he is super easy to cheese if you have the Deku sticks. It takes just 2 hits with a Deku stick jump attack in order to kill him. Yeah, this guy is super easy. I'm melting! Deep fried Dodongo. Now that the beast is dealt with, we can pick up our heart container and depart. That is honestly pretty grim. But, yep, that is Dodongo's Cavern. Well, that was fun. Oh, hey, bud.
It's me, Darunia! Well done!
Ow!
Thanks to you, we can once again eat the delicious rocks from the Dodongo's Cavern until our stomachs burst! What a wild adventure! It'll make an incredible story! I can't believe that the Dodongos suddenly appeared in such great numbers! And that big rock blocking the cave! All this trouble must have been caused by that Gerudo thief, Ganondorf! He said, "Give me the spiritual stone! Only then will I open the cave for you!" You, on the other hand, risked your life for us! Kid, I like you! How's about you and I become sworn brothers? No, there's no big ceremony involved. Just take this as a token of our friendship.
I feel so grateful. Oh, my organs. Oh, right, the gem. You obtained the Goron's Ruby. This is the spiritual stone of fire passed down by the Gorons. I know it's a pretty simple model, all things considered, but I just love the way the spiritual stones look. They really have that mystical feel with the way they're rendered. You don't know what he means by sworn brothers, but you've collected 2 spiritual stones. You have 1 more to find.
Brother, you'll keep brushing up on your skills as you travel, won't you? You should go see the Great Fairy on top of Death Mountain. She will power you up. Hey everybody, let's see off our brother!
Whoa!
You did great! How about a big Goron hug, brother?
Do not want! I do not consent to this! Ah, oh, man. I love the Gorons. They're just very happy people, all things considered. And for guys who subsist entirely on rocks, they're just very warm and gentle people.
You're incredible destroying the Dodongos. Do you mind if I call you Big Brother?
And yet we have now earned the respect of an entire race. Really shows how far we have come since we first left the Kokiri forest. So now we are truly a hero in their eyes. But more importantly, we now have bombs. And with these bombs, we're now able to access a lot of things throughout the land of Hyrule, giving us a lot more avenues to power ourselves up, as well as access some things like that hidden gold Skulltula there. Let's look at our current Skulltula count. We are 21. Alright, so next time we're in Kakariko Village, we can go pick up a new upgrade from the Skulltula house. Which I can actually recommend picking the gift up now, as it could be pretty helpful, but For the time being, I just wanted to focus on some of the stuff we can now do on Death Mountain, now that we finally have access to the bombs. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff we're able to do now. Just blasting open this wall here, giving us a purple rupee. That's 50 rupees. Definitely want to pick that up, as the purple rupees are very elusive. There's only a couple of them in the game, and you'll want to try and grab as many as you can to fill up your wallet. Hey, bud, how are you doing?
You're incredible destroying the Dodongos. Do you mind if I call you Big Brother?
That's alright. Now that we have this, now that we have access to our bombs, there's something over here in Goron City that I wanted to do. So if we head over into this corridor, we're able to enter this room. Actually, I'm thinking we might want to come back here at night. It's okay, we got an ocarina. We can change the time whenever we want. Yeah, we're going to change it to night because I believe that is the time we want to be in here. Wait, was it? Oh shoot, it was already night when we came in here, wasn't it? I am such a goober. Hang on. There we go. Now I know for certain that we are in Goron City at night. So what I wanted to do before I was rudely interrupted is I want to take our bombs over... which way do we want to go? So we got quite a lot of rocks that we're able to blast here. And I want to try to maneuver around this room, just blasting as many rocks as we can, and try to make our way to the end of the corridor. I forget how many bombs we need in order to do this, but actually we should just be right at the end. Let's blast that away, and that moves us over here to the end of this corridor. And inside is another purple rupee, which maxes out our rupee count, ow, and exposes another gold skulltula for us to pick up. Let's heal up. Not gonna open that chest because I know for a fact it's gonna contain rupees. So it'd be best if we save that one for later. But speaking of rupees, I want to stock up on some more bombs, as we're gonna be needing as many of these as we can. Let's quickly enter the shop here and purchase what we need. Alright, we have 7 of these, so the most optimum to buy 10 right now. Thanks a lot. Yeah, we can save money by not picking up, well, by not trying to max out our bomb count right now. So I believe one of the... So I believe now that we have access to the bomb bag, that should allow us to pick up some bombs from some pods around the world. I'm trying to think about which ones we could actually do. It doesn't really matter. What does matter now is that we've done pretty much everything I wanted to around Goron City. There is going to be some more stuff we're going to want to come back for here, but for the time being we're done. Actually, want to show off this little area that we haven't yet explored. Ow! So we now have the ability to access this corridor using these bomb flowers to blast it open. We could have done this earlier, but yeah, I just didn't do it until now. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use this bomb for this one. That opens up this area, giving us access to this big guy.
I'm working on something really cool right now, but I think it's gonna take a while. If you can wait 5 or 6 years, it should be ready, okay?
So this guy here is named Medigoron. He's a very large Goron, as we can see. Easily the largest one we have seen at this point. We're gonna remember you for later. You're not really gonna do anything for us now, but it is important to remember you. Alright, now that we've done everything I want to do in Goron City, so I'm going to head back to Death Mountain Trail, because there is a lot of things we're able to do now that we have bombs. So, as Darunia was alluding to back in that last cutscene, there's some stuff we can now do on Death Mountain. He was recommending that we go pay the Great Fairy a visit, who apparently lives on the peak of Death Mountain. So we're gonna go do just that. So for this bomb here, I want to wait until it starts to sizzle, and then throw you. Oh, come on. Alright, we'll blast that boulder up, allowing us to get up here. Now I believe we can also blast this boulder. That exposes a hole down here. And inside, besides a lot of rupees, maxing out our count right now, there's some hearts, and there's also a cow up here on the mountains. Now's a good time to mention that if you have an empty bottle on hand, you can actually get milk from the cows you can encounter hidden throughout the land of Hyrule. In order to access their milk, though, you're going to need to play You're gonna need to play Epona's song, as a song from the ranch reminds them of being on the ranch, and thus gets them lactating. Interesting choice of words I just used there. So I want to take out these Skullwalchulas so we can climb up here. And I believe there's one more up here we gotta deal with. Yep. And let's make our way to the top of the mountain. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. We are almost at the peak now. Oh, look who's here. Hey, Kaipora.
You've done well to come all the way up here, Hayden. This is the summit of the sacred Death Mountain. Woo! It is said that the clouds surrounding this peak reflect the condition of Death Mountain. When they look normal, it is at peace. Climbing all the way up here just proves how smart you are. Now I want to see you make another smart move. The Great Fairy lives on this mountaintop, and she'll give you a new skill. She is the leader of the fairies, you know. Woo! I will perch here and wait for you. When you're ready to go back down, I can help you. Now get going!
We'll be doing that in a little bit, but first, I want to head into this cavern over here, which takes us into Death Mountain Crater. So yeah, Death Mountain here is an active volcano. And also, there is a gold Skulltula hidden inside that box there. Definitely remember to pick that up. So, because Death Mountain is an active volcano, the inside of the crater is really hot. So hot, in fact, that if we stay in here too long, we will burn up and start to take damage. So I wanted to get in here very quickly, because down in this ledge, we can actually pick up a piece of heart. So you're supposed to know that the piece of heart is here much later when you're able to access this area more freely. But I knew it was here, so I was able to pick it up. Oh! Ouch! Wow, I really didn't think it would cause that much damage to us when we burn up. That'll reset our counter back up. So yeah, that's pretty much our first instance of death in this game. Hard to believe. Let's dive down in here. That's obviously going to contain rupees, so I'm going to leave you for now. And I just want to explore the crater for a bit, because there is some things in here that would be nice to pick up. So there's a cracked wall over here, and break that open. Suppose another one of those Sheikah stones that we have been seeing all throughout the game. Yeah, it's nothing we're going to be seeing any use from now, but I want to remember it for later. Oh man, I'm actually going to need to grab a new fairy now that we have lost ours. Or I could use our empty bottle to collect some milk or something. Anyway, now that we have dealt with all that inside the crater, we can blast open this wall with our bombs, allowing us to go into the Great Fairy's Fountain. Simply approach the pedestal and play Zelda's Lullaby. Awooga! Welcome, Hayden. I am the Great Fairy of Power. I'm going to grant you a sword technique. Receive it now. Now, when you say sword... Oh, I feel the power! You mastered the secret sword technique of the spin attack. Hold B to charge your weapon. Release B to unleash a wave of energy with your spin. If you want to release energy without charging your weapon, just rotate once and press B for a very effective quick spin. When you charge power for a spin attack, magic power will be consumed. Pay attention to your green magic meter. Hey boy, you're a messenger of the royal family, aren't you? Next time you're in their neighborhood, you should drop in on a friend of mine who lives by Hyrule Castle. She'll surely grant you another new power. When battle has made you weary, please come back to see me. Oh boy. Great fairies are definitely something in this game. But yeah, we got a new ability from the Great Fairy here, an upgraded spin attack. So now that when we hold down the attack button, this allows us to build up energy in our sword. And when we release it, it creates a big wave of energy, decimating all enemies in range. This is definitely a very excellent skill that I recommend using as much as you can in combat. It is super helpful.
Woohoo! Well, it looks like you've grown up a little from the Great Fairy's power.
Oh, trust me, she has triggered a lot of growth within me.
But you still don't really look like the hero who will save Hyrule. At least not yet.
What are you implying?
If you're going back down the mountain, I can lend you a wing. Come here and grab my talents. And hold on tight.
Woohoo! So I highly recommend doing this. After talking to the Great Fairy, talk to Gaibora, and then stand under his talons, and he will whisk us away. Highly recommend doing this, as it's going to be important for something that I really wanted to get to see. I like this little cutscene where it puts us in the perspective of Link as he's being carried away by the giant owl. Just such a cool scene. So now, Kaipora will drop us off on the roof of Impa's house. And if we just quickly jump down this end, it allows us to access the inside of this cage, allowing us to finally pick up that piece of heart that's been hidden here. God, I feel good about grabbing that now. Alright, Alright, while we're in town, we can go pay the spiders a visit. Now that we've made some progress on freeing their family. We don't really need to talk to you. Want to talk to you? The curse has been broken! Thank you! Here's a reward for you! You obtain the Stone of Agony. If you equip a Rumble Pack, it will react to nearby secrets. Please, save my other brothers too. I'm sure they'll give you something a lot better. Will you do it? I kinda have to at this point because I made the promise. So, the Stone of Agony we have here. This is a pretty useful item. So back in the original release of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the Nintendo 64 had a mechanic with it where it would come with an additional... it would come with an accessory called the Rumble Pack, which is something that attaches onto the... It attaches onto the Nintendo 64 controller in order to cause the controller to vibrate, which is definitely helpful for a few ways. There were some mechanics added into games that would allow the controller to vibrate, which definitely helped for the immersion of a lot of games being played. But it's also good for some other means. For instance, if we're able to walk around an area around here, it would cause our controller to vibrate and allow us to sense things like that. Just be able to sense certain things within the world of Hyrule. Sadly, my controller doesn't seem to be vibrating right now. Probably gonna need to... Yeah, because doing most actions would also cause it to vibrate to things. But I guess I don't have my controller optimized so that it's able to vibrate, so... Fortunately, I'm unable to really get to accurately show this off, but will point out that the Stone of Agony is useful. For instance, if you are playing this game on the Nintendo Switch, then you should easily be able to sense the rumble given off by the Stone of Agony. It's a very useful thing. I definitely recommend picking that up. It's definitely useful for locating a lot of secrets that we're going to be seeing throughout the game. Anyway, what I wanted to do now is, since we have a lot of rupees that we can splurge now, I thought we'd head into the potion shop and we'll pick up a red potion. These are very useful as they will allow us to replenish our HP. Drink a receipt to recover your life energy. You carry this potion in one of your bottles. And we're not going to buy anything else here. So that's definitely very nice. Especially with our current rupee total. There's a lot of stuff we're able to do right now. So, we were told to go check out something around Hyrule Castle by the Great Fairy. However, I want to head into this shop now that we finally have the bomb bag. Talk to the lady here. Huh? What? Uh-oh, a customer! Welcome to our cutting-edge amusement center, the Bombchu Bowling Alley. Do you want to know what you can win? Well, it's a secret. I can't tell you until you pay to play. It's 30 rupees per game. Do you want to play? Sure thing. Okay, aim for the hole in the center and let Bombchu go. You get 10 tries. Ready? Let's bowl. Oh, I almost forget. Here's what you can win. Bombs. So, Bombchu Bowling here. It's an interesting mechanic in that we now have access to Bombchus. So what I want to do is just plant the Bombchu. It is a bomb that is able to crawl along the ground and also can go up walls. Which is pretty dang helpful for reaching certain things that you wouldn't be able to reach with a normal bomb. We have a couple tries in order to get this right. And it can be a little tricky getting the timing on where to drop the Bombchu so that they're able to go into the hole. It's definitely a lot easier when you get certain formations for what the course is going to look like. If you just position yourself in the right way, you can direct the Bombchu so that it goes into the right spot. I really don't know how simple this is going to be for me with my current control setup. Ugh. Sad, we're out of Bombchu here, so sadly we're not going to do this. But we have plenty of rupees, so we can try this as much as we want. Want to play again? Almost forgot. Here's what you can win. Ooh, that's something we're definitely going to want. So that is a upgrade for our bomb bag. There are quite a number of prizes we can get by doing the Bombchu bowling course. And I want to grab a few of the prizes that we can here throughout the game, as they're going to be very useful to us going forward. Just want to make sure that we got this right. Alright, we got it in there that time. And now for the last one, once you know it, there is a big Kuko at the end of the course blocking off the last hole we need to do. So what I recommend doing is just trying to aim at the center and try to get past the Kukos at the end of the course. Little tricky to time this right because of how erratic the Kukos can be, but if you manage to time it just right, winner! And we collect our prize. You got a big bomb bag. Now you can carry more bombs, up to a maximum of 30. I highly recommend getting this upgrade. Bombs are very useful tools to us throughout this game, so you're going to want to have a big surplus of them. Do you want to play again? Sure. Oh, I almost forgot. Here's what you can win. Start. So now we have the ability to win 50 rupees, which would make up for some of the rupees we've already spent here. Alright, this one is pretty simple. Just as long as we hit the target in the middle, we're good. We don't even really have to move for this course. So yeah, it's kind of random which formation the game will decide to have the Bombchu course on. So you want to make sure you have the right timing for this. So yeah, there is a luck element to the Bombchu bowling alley, but ultimately, if you're just persistent with it and have enough rupees, you can brute force through this game and not have to worry too much about it. Alright, this could be... frickin' chicken in the middle of the stage just keeps messing with me. Alright, just go. Come on. This thing always just bobs into the middle. Yeah, the big Kuko in the middle of the arena there is just such a troll. Pretty much comes down to luck whether you're able to get this right, which is kind of disappointing, but... Oh, come on! We could have gotten that! Alright, come on. Move, 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 move. There we go. Last possible chance there. And we get 50 rupees. Want to play again? Sure. Oh, I almost forgot. Here's what you can win. We're able to win Bombchus themselves this time, which is definitely kind of helpful. This is the earliest point in the game you're actually able to acquire Bombchus by playing at the Bombchu bowling alley. And I could kind of recommend this. Bombchu really aren't something I tend to use in my playthroughs of this game, but they could be pretty helpful to you, giving you another explosive option for dealing with various things throughout the game. Alright, come on, move, move. There we go. Winner! You got Bomb Chew! On the Select Item subscreen, you can set it to the C buttons. Carry in place with C. There's a new type of bomb that can even crawl up walls. Aim well and release it. Again, this is basically a bomb that you're able to have crawl along the ground. Could be nice for trying to get a more accurate shot against certain enemies, but for the most part, I don't tend to use these. They're still very helpful, though. Alright, of course, you're over there now. Alright, we should have that. But yeah, we can see there, the big prize we can get at the Bomb Chew Bowling Alley that I highly recommend getting is a piece of heart. And damn, we got that only in 3 tries with the Bomb Chew. Very good. And that is the last of the main prizes I want to pick up here. The main things I wanted were the piece of heart, the big bomb bag, and the Bomb Chew. Do you want to play again? Nope, that is everything I wanted here. Alright, you don't have to play if you don't want to. So that is the end of our little excursion here to the Bomb Chew Bowling Alley. I'm gonna miss this place because I really like this NPC's design, but we have no reason to return here for the rest of the game. Still a nice little distraction, and it gets you some good practice in understanding how bomb chews work. So next, what I want to do is head partway back to Hyrule Castle, as there is a certain something that we're able to do here now that we have bombs. So we could have done this like immediately when we got bombs, but I want to save this until after meeting with the Great Fairy on Death Mountain, as this is something she points you in the direction towards after you talk with her. By squeezing in here, there is another Great Fairy fountain, similar to the one we saw before. Hello, nurse! Welcome, Hayden. I am the Great Fairy of Magic. I will give you a magic spell. Please take it. You got Din's Fire. Its fireball engulfs everything. It's attack magic you can use with C. You can use Din's Fire not only to attack, but also to burn things. When battle has made you weary, please come back to see me. I am still amazed to this day that they were able to get away with having the Great Fairies look the way they do in this game. Like, obviously, this is an E-rated game. It has some pretty intense moments to it, but, I mean, come on. The Great Fairies in this game are heavily sexualized, so I'm very surprised they're able to get away with having these kind of designs. I mean, you can make an argument that it's alright that they are just so, buxom and just very attractive like that. And because they have, like, plants covering their bits. But come on, they're practically naked. Not that's really a problem for me myself. Alright. Now that we've had that visit from the Great Fairy done, we got ourselves some new magic that I'll probably try to test out sometime soon. So I forgot to mention this earlier when we picked up the spin attack, but we now have a green bar below our health now that we have visited the Great Fairies. That is our magic meter. So throughout the rest of the game, we can use certain techniques, and they will consume magic from our meter by doing so. So you want to have your magic meter be pretty much full whenever you want to use your magic. Otherwise, you'll have to replenish it later. Alright, at this point, there's quite a few things we're able to do now that we have access to bombs. So thinking we can go take care of a couple things around the land of Hyrule with our current set of equipment. Again, there is a lot of things we're able to do, so might as well see if we can take care of a few things here. So the first thing I want to do is head over to the west side of Hyrule, as there's a few things we were able to grab much sooner in our adventure, but I mainly wanted to focus on some of the stuff around Kakariko, as well as Death Mountain in the last session, which is why I saved this for this time. We're going to be back around this area much later anyway, so just wanted to call attention to that.
Hayden, wait up, buddy! Woohoo! Head south from here to reach Lake Hylia's full, rich waters. If you go west, you'll find Gerudo Valley. There's a hideout of a gang of thieves on the other side of the valley. Well, you're free to go anywhere you want. Woo-hoo-hoo! Do you want to hear what I said again?
No, thank you.
No matter how far it is, just don't get discouraged. Woo-hoo-hoo!
So yeah, Kaipora will hang around on that tree and let you know about some of the areas you can see around the land of Hyrule. There's nothing we really need to do in that tree there. So we're just gonna be heading off to the west here, totally ignoring the stall children as we don't want to do anything with them. There's some other stuff we could do here in the Hyrule field, but I'm gonna save that for much later when I want to do some cleanup around here later. It's probably not gonna be doing any of that until next session. But by heading over this way, we can now access Gerudo Valley. Quite an interesting area in our journey. So we heard from various NPCs that Ganondorf was the leader of the Gerudo thieves that live in this region. And we can get a small glimpse of what this area is like here. So we have a bridge over this ravine here that cuts off the main area from Hyrule to the Gerudo's land. The Gerudo's fortress is located beyond this gate. A kid like you has no business there. So sadly, we do not have the ability to go to... We cannot venture farther into Gerudo Valley. But honestly, do we really want to? That's where Ganondorf lives, and I don't think I want to go see him right now. However, there's some stuff we can do over on this side of Gerudo Valley with the help of this Kuko. So we want to jump off the cliff here with the Kuko and hover over to this little ledge. Then want to ram into that box there, allowing us to pick up another piece of heart. So that now gives us 8 hearts. It's already a lot of good health considering what we had before. Alright, we are just really making some good progress in clearing up what we're able to do with regards to our pieces of hearts. And by heading down the river from Gerudo Valley, that actually takes us over to this area that we could have been to much earlier in our adventure, but want to save until later once we acquire some new things. Lake Hylia is a big old lake with a lot of things for us to see. Namely some new enemies that we have not seen at this point, like that Octorok there. Then we also have blue Tektites. It's hard to beat on the water, lure it onto the land. Yeah, we don't have any means of attacking while we're in the water, so enemies like blue Tektites can be a pain around here. But what I wanted to do here while we're in Lake Hylia is swim over to this island over here. Of course, we got Octoroks. Bounce back the rocks, they spit at you. So Octoroks are a classic enemy, appearing all the way from the beginning of the series. And they're pretty much the standard enemy from the original Legend of Zelda, along with something else we'll be seeing much later. So we check this here. When water fills the lake, shoot for the morning light. There's nothing we can do about that for the time being. However, what I wanted to do was go over to this little island here with the 2 pillars. Now what I want to do is change the time to night. And that causes a gold Skulltula to appear here on this pillar. Definitely want to remember to grab that before we leave this place. That is very important to us. Alright, so quite a few things we're still able to do in Lake Hylia, so I figured we could knock out a good chunk of the things we can do here on our first visit here. There's also some stuff I still want to do around Gerudo Valley, so I'll be heading back there in a bit. Let's talk to Kaipora here.
What are you doing? You've come a long way to get up here. You should look at the map subscreen sometimes. Hayden, this is a beautiful lake full of pure, clear water. At the lake bottom, there is a water temple used to worship the water spirits. The Zoras are guardians of the temple. Woohoo! The Zoras come from Zora's domain in northeast Hyrule, an aquatic race. They are longtime allies of Hyrule's royal family. I heard that only the royal family of Hyrule can enter Zora's domain. Woohoo! I'm on my way back to the castle if you want to come with me. Hold on to my talons.
So we're actually not going to take Kaipora's invitation, and we're just going to let him fly away. Because the grave he was roosting on is one we can pull open. And that exposes this hole here we can go into. And once you know it, we got a couple of business scrubs here. So I forget what the main things we can get from these guys are, but we'll see what we can find. I quit. If you let me go, I'll sell you some bombs. I don't need a bomb refill right now, so we'll just leave you be. It is nice that we know the location of these guys, should we ever need them. Alright, you win. In return, I'll sell you Deku Seeds. That is also something I don't really need. I really don't know if this is too much of a mechanic, but I'm pretty sure that the business scrubs will typically overcharge you for the things that they typically sell. So it's often not worth it to take their deals when it comes to purchasing refills on things you need, like bombs or seeds. Oh hey Kaipora, you're still here. Well, at the very least we're able to get a good look at some of the things we can do here. There's a gold Skulltula on the side of that building, but sadly we cannot collect its token right now, so I'm just going to leave it be. However, if we go over here by this little dirt patch, there's an area that we can plant some bugs. And obviously, this is an area where we can pick up some Skulltulas. Alright, let's expose you now. Just demonstrating there, if you only do a partial charge with a spin attack, you get a smaller blue ring. It has a lot less range than the fully charged spin attack, but still pretty useful for clearing things. And now that we finally have the magic meter, we're now able to find magic jars. Grabbing these will replenish your magic, so if you're ever low on magic, cut some grass and see what you can find. The next thing I want to do around here is I wanted to head over this way to these scarecrows. I am Bonaru, the Scarecrow musical genius. I hear a song once and I never forget it, baby. Oh, really? Well, speaking of songs, whoa, you have an ocarina. Hey, why don't you lay a tune on me with it, baby? Sure thing. Well, not bad. I'll remember it for you anyway. I don't mean I can't remember only 8 notes, but let's just cut it right there for now, baby. So this is going to be useful for something a little bit later. Want to talk to Bonaru and then play an 8-note song for him. Eventually, this will be important for us, but for the time being, it's just there. My name is Pierre, the Wandering Scarecrow. Actually, I wish I could wander to look for soul-moving sounds, but I am kind of stuck here. How disappointing. We'll leave those guys for the time being. And what I want to do is head over this way, because there's something over here that's going to be pretty important to us. Alright, so what we have here, fishing pond. The fish are really biting today. So this is definitely an interesting area once we go in. The fishing pond. Well, do you want to go fishing for 20 rupees? Sure thing. Oh no, you don't have a rumble pack. With a rumble pack, you can feel the vibrations of a fish on your hook. This time, no rumble for you. Okay, listen up. Walk up to the water's edge and press Z to look at a fish. While looking at a fish, you can cast your line with B. Press A to break the line. When the lure drops into the water, you can wiggle it. If you're a novice, you can also use B. Reel in your lure with A. Hold down A and R to reel it in faster. If you feel a hit, press A and down to set the hook. After that, reel it in with A. You understand? Yes, I do. I'm so generous, I'll let you fish for as long as you want. However, you can keep only 1 fish. The biggest fish ever caught here weighs 6 pounds. After you cast, you can change your view with Z. Let's fish. So the fishing pond here is quite a special area. Rules and regulations: don't use sinking lures, don't litter, walk quietly. This is a nice area where you can just chill and catch fish to your heart's content. However, there's also some other things we're able to get here at the fishing pond that are going to be important for us in our adventure. So, as the guy suggested, we're able to cast out our line into the pond, and then want to simply wiggle the hook around in order to entice a fish. Eventually, the fish will attempt to bite the lure, and then we simply have to reel the bugger in. It's going to be a little tricky to deal with, but if you just are patient and persistent enough at this, you should be able to successfully catch the fish. Wow, this is a real lunker. Let's see. It weighs 10 pounds. Do you want to keep it? Yes, I do. So that fish I just caught is actually the biggest fish we're able to catch at this point in the fishing pond. There are a lot of different fish you're able to catch in here, but that is the one I wanted to catch as it gets us a good reward. What do you want? Let's weigh the fish. Whoa! This fish is huge! It looks like a new record! It weighs at least 10 pounds! Seriously! Okay, here's your prize. So by catching the 10-pound fish, we get a piece of heart. And that's about everything I want to do here. I want to quit. Come back when you get older. The fish will be bigger too. Well, maybe. Aw, man, I have to wait a long time just to be able to catch more fish. This whomps. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to do now. So we're able to catch that one fish there that is very useful, being able to get us a piece of heart. So we will need to remember to come back to the fishing pond sometime later in the game. As he was suggesting, there will be a change to this location much later on in our journey. But with that said, that's pretty much most of the things I wanted to do around here. There is at least one thing we can check in with, though it's not really going to do anything for us for the time being. So this building by the lake here, Lakeside Laboratory, daily trying to get to the bottom of the mysteries of Lake Hylia. Lake Scientist. Let's go in. This area has some nice atmosphere to it. It's got a big pool here, which we'll definitely want to remember for later. Then we have the owner of the location itself.
Hello there, son. I'm researching the process of making medicine by mixing Lake Hylia's water with various unusual compounds. Perhaps you met that old lady from the potion shop. She is like a student of mine.
Yeah, this place just kind of unsettling. There's nothing we can really do here for the time being, but it will be important for us eventually. So with all that taken care of, I want to head back to Gerudo Valley. But there is some other stuff that we can acquire on the way there. So before I begin talking about some other stuff, I just want to quickly head up here, which will take us back into Hyrule Field. This area is actually fenced off, but you're able to get in here through the use of this ladder along this wall. And then over here around the center of this area, just want to plant a bomb down, as that will cause a hole to open up here.
Beyond this point lies Lake Hylia. It is full of deep, pure water. The Zoras, who live all the way upstream, guard the sunken temple at the lake's bottom, as well as Zora's fountain. If you want to confirm its location on the map, press Start to switch to the subscreens, and ZR to find the map. All the places you have visited will be shown on the map. Woo-hoo-hoo! Do you want to hear what I said again?
No.
Okay, be careful and go.
So a lot of fans tend to not like Hypora Gaibora because he interrupts whatever you're doing just to talk for a while. I can see why. Meanwhile, down here in this cave, there is a lone business scrub. Alright, you win. In return for sparing me, I'll sell you a piece of heart. 1 piece, 10 rupees it is. Let's make a deal. Sure thing. Thank you very much. So that is actually a pretty good deal, getting us a new piece of heart that way. So now we can head up here. And that pretty much takes us out of here. Done pretty much everything I wanted to do around Lake Hylia, so let us go head back to Gerudo Valley to take care of some things we can do now. While we're just making our way over, I'm thinking about some stuff I wanted to talk about. Let's see. So very recently this week I've been playing some Splatoon 3 in order to get myself hyped up for the Splatfest that is happening this weekend, which I've definitely been having a lot of fun with. It's been very fun getting to revisit this game, as it's one that I definitely have a lot of respect for. Splatoon series, I'm kind of weird when it comes to how much I like it, because in the initial release of the series, I did pick up Splatoon 1. By that I mean, it was a gift from my brother, and then afterwards, I pretty much skipped out on 2 and only got back into the series from Splatoon 3. But I am still a Splatoon fan, even though I'm more of a casual one. But anyway, now that we're back here in Gerudo Valley, there is something new we're able to do here that also involves the Kuko. So want to jump off the cliff here, and we want to maneuver over to this waterfall here. We want to just carefully descend down with our Kuko. As after a certain point along the waterfall, we can see that there is an opening in the wall. And if we head inside, we grab another piece of heart. Kind of fun they hide 2 different pieces of heart here. Yeah, that is one way you're able to get to that particular piece of heart. There is another way that I used to use in order to get it, but I don't do it now, as that way is so much easier. But down here we can see this Gerudo woman tending to this cow down here. Why did you come all the way down here? What? You were just about to ask me the same thing? Well, now that you're down here, you may as well make the best of things. I guess so. Wouldn't you know it, there is another dirt patch here. Let's go ahead and drop some bugs in. Go in now. And that will, of course, spawn a Skulltula for us to grab. And now that is pretty much everything I wanted to do in Gerudo Valley for the time being. So, we're pretty much done here. We don't need to come back here for quite a while. Let's head back into the river and let it carry us back to Lake Hylia. Okay. So we still got quite a bit of time left before we end this session, so I'm thinking that we will spend the rest of this stream making some more progress in the story. As there is an area we're now able to access now that we have bombs. So we're going to make our way towards that direction now. And while we're just making our way across Hyrule Field in order to get to this area, there is a certain topic regarding Ocarina Time that I thought I would like to discuss during this series. And it mainly pertains to the availability of this game and the different versions you're able to get. So, Ocarina of Time being easily one of the most critically acclaimed and best-selling Nintendo games out there, it has had a lot of releases since the original Nintendo 64 days. Obviously, the Nintendo 64 version is one that is widely regarded, and most people recommend picking it up, which I obviously do. It's a fantastic game, and I can easily recommend it to a lot of people. It has aged in a few ways, but ultimately, it still plays very good. When it comes to other factors, well, the original Nintendo 64 release of the game, that version also had some re-releases through other means on pretty much most of Nintendo's consoles. So the Nintendo GameCube had a re-release of this game that also came with an extra mode in it called Master Quest, which is pretty much a remix version of this game that has a lot of different changes to it that does drastically affect the experience of the game overall. It's a good challenge to go through, though one I wouldn't recommend to a lot of first-time players. But the GameCube release, I can still recommend to people regardless of that. Then it was also available on the Nintendo Wii's Virtual Console, which has long since shut down. It was also available for purchase on the Nintendo Wii U, and it's currently accessible through the Nintendo Switches. Nintendo 64 or online stuff, which is available through the expansion pass alongside some other things, or you can just get the Nintendo 64 online stuff on its own. I, of course, have the expansion pass, which allows me to access a lot of content besides just Nintendo 64 games. And that's still a very good version of the game to play. Like, I played through pretty much the entire version of this game on the Nintendo Switch, and yeah, it just plays so good on that system, especially with a Pro Controller. I wonder if Saria knows anything about the other spiritual stone. We'll ask her about it later, Navi. For now, I want to head up here.
Woohoo! Looks like you've gotten bigger and stronger already, Hayden. Just ahead lies Zora's domain. The Zoras serve Hyrule's royal family by protecting this water source. Their door will not open for anyone except those who have some connection with the royal family. Let them hear the melody of the royal family. Woo, woo, woo!
Also, when it comes to versions of this game, I obviously have to recommend the Nintendo 3DS the Nintendo 3DS remake of this game, because just a fantastic remake. I think just the changes to the visuals are so great and just really captures the feeling of the original artwork for this game. And it just presents this game in a much prettier detail than it ever was before. I really cannot recommend that version enough. It is so good. And it also has a lot of useful quality of life upgrades to the core mechanics of the game that I can obviously recommend. Like, in terms of just a lot of different things you can do, like, item management is so much better, and you're able to use a lot of different equipment much easier than you would in the original release. So that alone is enough for me to recommend that version of the game to play. I can easily recommend the 3DS version to start with, but the Nintendo 64 release still has its charms to it. So I can still recommend playing this version.
How about some magic beans? They aren't selling very well. How about 10 rupees for one piece?
Sure thing, buddy. You got a magic bean. Find a suitable spot for a garden and plant it with seed. Then wait for something fun to happen. On the select item subscreen, you can set it to the buttons and then use that seed to plant it.
If you want to plant beans, go around and look for soft soil.
Sure thing, bud. So we got an interesting mechanic here with magic beans. You're able to purchase them from this merchant here, and you're able to plant them in these soft patches of soil that we have seen all throughout the land of Hyrule. For the record, this is the one patch of soft sand that I alluded to as being the only one where you cannot find a gold skulltula inside. But here's the catch with the magic beans. The first one we bought from this guy was only 10 rupees.
How about some magic beans? Well, they're not that popular yet. How about 20 rupees for one piece?
So every time you buy a magic bean from this guy, it goes up in price by 10 rupees.
How about some magic beans? They're getting to be quite popular. 30 rupees for one piece. How about it?
Sure. So from this point on, we're going to want to mainly focus on collecting rupees in order to be able to buy the magic beans from this guy. So in total, you're able to buy 10 magic beans from him, which can then be placed into 10 of the various patches of soft soil located all throughout the land of Hyrule. And yeah, we are obviously going to go after every last spot where we can plant magic beans, as they're useful for opening up quite a few different things. What I want to do before we progress any farther up Zora's River is I want to grab this Kuko, as you're going to be useful for something I want to do here. So I want to jump over here, and then want to head up this ledge here, and then want to go over here. Now this is a very important maneuver we want to do. Want to jump off the cliff, hover over to this ledge, drop the Kuko part way, but you're able to grab onto the ledge, and then you're able to jump up onto this pillar and grab the piece of hearts. That now gives us our 9th piece of hearts. Oh man, we have so many now. I'm so happy for that. And we're going to need this Kuko for something else we're going to be doing here, so just want to quickly grab you and move you over here. You're obviously going to be useful for something we're doing, so I want to get you into position. Now, the next thing I want to do, which also ties into magic beans, is I want to go over to this log. Some frogs are looking at you from underwater. Pull that ocarina here, and the frogs take their position. So what we want to do here is play the various songs that we have learned all throughout the game to the frogs. Young lad, you play the ocarina well. That melody's so fine. Ribbit, we all should practice it. Ribbit, take rupees as a souvenir. If you come up with another nice melody, please drop by and play it. Ribbit, Ribbit. So you're able to get a purple rupee by playing a song. Pretty much all of the songs you're able to learn throughout this game, you're able to play to the frogs here, and you're able to get 50 rupees as a reward for knowing these songs. So we're gonna quickly stock up on as many rupees as we can from these guys. We know quite a few songs, so we're definitely not gonna be short on rupees here. Alright, that puts us just over 150, so in order to max out our profits, I'm actually going to head back to the bean merchant now in order to save some time and money. Just want to quickly jump over here and get back to you. And I'm probably not going to bother voicing this guy for the rest of these purchases. We're just going to be buying beans from this guy, so I feel like it'd be nice to talk about some other stuff while we're taking care of this. So what else do I want to talk about? So I've been a little disappointed lately that wasn't able to really get to do stuff during the holidays, given how crappy the weather has been, and sadly things still haven't been that good here. It's just been very rainy and just not very good the last couple of days. But I'm expecting that to change sometime soon, and hopefully things are going to get a little bit better, and we'll be able to actually go out and do more fun things. It's definitely a lot of stuff that I've been looking forward to doing, especially later this year. Something that I haven't got the opportunity to do for quite a few years now is get to go to conventions. Obviously, because of the pandemic, I was very nervous about getting to attend, like, certain conventions, but definitely want to change that sometime in the future. So, maybe sometime later... Yeah, sometime later in the year, I want to try to go to a convention, so... It'd definitely be nice getting to hang out with some people, and just be nice to get to check out a lot of various things you can do at conventions, because definitely really liked getting into that stuff a lot of years ago, and wish I had more opportunities to do it, but the pandemic has really been hitting us hard. And I haven't had a lot of motivation for doing that kind of stuff, but I hope to do it again sometime. Meanwhile, I want to take this Kuko all the way over here up the river. Because at this end of Zora's River, we head up here, there's this little ledge here. And thanks to our Kuko, we can fly over to this ledge and collect the piece of heart there. Very nice. Also, now that we grab this, I want to quickly change the time to night. Because you can probably guess why I want to do this. Because down here by this ladder, there's a gold Skulltula here. Take you out and collect that token. Very nice. And over here at the end of the river, Sleepless Waterfall. The flow of this waterfall serves the King of Hyrule. When the king slumbers, so too do these falls. Really? Let's go ahead and play Zelda's Lullaby then. And doing that will part the waterfall, allowing us to enter. Zora's Domain. Oh boy, this area. Definitely been looking forward to coming here. Zora's Domain, just, God, love the way this place looks. Just the way the light is reflecting off the water and onto the walls. God, that is such a pretty effect. Like, I know the Nintendo 64 has aged a lot in terms of its visuals, but stuff like this still looks really good to this day. So amazing. So yeah, Zora's Domain is an area we heard a little bit about throughout our journey, and only now we just able to get it. Oh, hello there, fellow. King Zora's throne room. To hear the king's royal proclamation, stand on the platform and speak to him. Okay. How's it going, your majesty?
Oh, my dear sweet Princess Ruto, where has she gone? I'm so worried.
Oh, he seems to be upset about the princess being missing. You don't think Ganondorf is behind this, do ye? Well, we'll go figure that out. But, for the time being, there's this torch over here that we can steal fire from, and then bring down to this torch. So now we have a permanent source of fire here, which I'm definitely going to want, because there is a very tight puzzle here that we want to do. Just want to light this torch, quickly reset this. I want to quickly get across the water here. I do not know why our stick is still lit, even though we are taking it underwater, and want to quickly light... Ah, damn. We didn't have enough time to do this. Okay. This puzzle's a little tricky to master, because these torches only burn for a certain amount of time, so we really want to be quick about this. It is very useful, trust me. Alright, let's light you. Get her stick back. Alright, there we go. By lighting all 4 of those torches, that causes a chest to appear. And you could probably guess what is inside this chest that I really wanted to open. By opening that up, that gets us another piece of heart. God, there are so many of these things we've been picking up, and definitely all for it, because these things are useful. But anyway, now that we've taken care of that, let's check in with the locals. Hello, sir. Who are you?
We are the Zoras, the proud aquatic people. So, you say you have some connection with Hyrule's royal family. Well, what do you want from us? Interesting fellow. Little fishy, if you ask me. Check out the shop here. I want to buy a fish, but they're a little too expensive. I have no choice but to catch one of the fishes that's swimming around out there. So we have a shop here in Zora's domain. We can buy red potion here, which is very useful. Arrows, which we have no use for. Deku nuts, which could be useful. Fish, I do not recommend buying it here. It is way too expensive and just not worth it, considering that we can just we can catch fish outside. Their recovery heart should you need those. And there's also a Zora tunic worth 300 rupees, more than we can even carry at this point. A tunic made by Zoras, adult size, prevents you from drowning underwater. There's nothing we can do about that for the time being, so we'll just leave the shop. So while we're here in Zora's domain, I want to talk a little bit more about the Zoras themselves. So Zoras have been a presence in the Zelda series ever since the very first game, as they were those fish enemies that would shoot fireballs at you from pretty much every body of water in the original Legend of Zelda, and have been staples of the series ever since. Zoras themselves are based on various folklore of various human fish hybrid-like creatures, like mermen and Sahagin. Diving game, 20 rupees. Want to play? Sure thing. Okay, pick up all the rupees I throw from here. You will have only a limited amount of time. When you pick them all up, come back here. I'll give you something very nice. Sure thing, bud. So that guy is going to chuck some rupees down into the water. Start. And we have 50 seconds to collect all the rupees he throws down. Just want to quickly get over to where the rupees are and then dive down to collect them. You can only dive down to a certain depth because of our current equipment. But this really isn't too bad to do, since the rupees are positioned so that your diving abilities really don't matter that much. Hey, congratulations! I've got something very nice for you. Come and get it! Just want to go talk to that guy again, now that we have obtained all this. But yeah, Zoras have been enemies throughout the Zelda series until this point. So, for the most part, the Zoras have mostly been an enemy race until the time of A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening, as those games introduced a few friendly Zoras that you would encounter through certain parts of the game. But for the most part, the Zoras were still an enemy race. What a graceful dive! Now please take this. This is a scale of our kind. With this, you can dive much deeper underwater. Definitely want to accept that. You got the silver scale. Jump into the water and press A. You can dive deeper than you could before. Believe it or not, this is required in order to advance the main story. Because yeah, we're going to need to dive deeper in order to access some things. So now we're able to dive for a total of 6 seconds before needing to come back up to the surface. Definitely very useful. Have you seen Lord Jabu Jabu? No. Oh, that's not good. Everybody who comes around here should see Lord Jabu Jabu at least once. Zora's Fountain is just beyond King Zora's throne. That is where Lord Jabu Jabu swims. But unless you have King Zora's permission, you can't go to Zora's Fountain. So yeah, while A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening introduced a few friendly Zora NPCs, they were still mostly an enemy type in the game. Not here in Ocarina of Time. This is the first game in the series to have Zoras as a completely friendly race. There are no enemy types of Zoras in this game. And I definitely think it's for the better, because I really love the design of these guys. They just look so cool in this game.
Whereas in the earlier games, the Zoras had a lot more of a monstrous design to them. These ones are definitely a lot nicer. They just also look so streamlined and shark-like, which is, God, so cool. We are good at diving. How about you? If you want to be a master diver, try the diving game on the top of the waterfall. Have you tried it already? Yes, we have, and we actually managed to win it. Well, I say that, it's actually one of the easiest mini-games you can actually do in this game. Let's talk to you here. We haven't found Princess Ruto, even though some of us have searched as far as Lake Hylia. So apparently she's not around Lake Hylia. So the Zoras are in a crisis, much like Kokiri Forest and Death Mountain was. We Zoras all serve the great King Zora. Well, that's obvious. Alright. So now, if we are going to advance the story here, you see that little entranceway underwater? We couldn't reach this until we acquired the silver scale, but now we can dive into it, and this gives us a shortcut back to Lake Hylia. What's that? And now that we have the silver scale, we can dive down in this portion of Lake Hylia and collect this. You've got an empty bottle. Put something inside and press C to use it. What? Something's already inside? Let's go see what this item is. Oh, hey, buddy, how are you? I am a Zora. Have you seen anything strange in the lake? The river carries many things into this lake. Yeah, I found a bottle. Let's dive back through this gate, allowing us back into Zora's domain. It's actually a very useful shortcut, being able to go from like the most southern area in Hyrule to one of the more northern areas very quickly. It's definitely a nice shortcut I recommend using. But anyway, now that we have this bottle, let's check its contents. Huh? It looks like there's something already inside this bottle. It's a letter. Help me. I'm waiting for you inside Lord Jabu Jabu's belly. Ruto. P.S. Don't tell my father. Looks like we're gonna have to disobey her instructions in order to be able to progress the story. So, how about we go take this letter to the father? I'm certain he'll appreciate it. Your Majesty, I have something for you.
Oh, this letter. It's from Princess Ruto. Let's see. She's inside Lord Jabu Jabu? That's not possible. Our guardian god, Lord Jabu Jabu, would never eat my dear Princess Ruto. But since that stranger Ganondorf came here, Lord Jabu Jabu has been a little green around the gills. The evidence seems clear. Of course, you'll go find Ruto. You can pass through here to the altar of Lord Jabu Jabu. I'll keep this letter. You keep the bottle it was in. Take it respectfully. Please, find my dear Princess Ruto immediately. Zora!
So I don't know why, I just kind of associate King Zora with a George Takei voice just looking at him. And yeah, we now get to enjoy this lovely cutscene of King Zora just scooching over on his throne, allowing us to access the area beyond.
Please find my dear Princess Ruto immediately. Zora!
That we shall. However, I feel like now is a good stopping point. Very quickly, there's one last thing I want to do in order to prepare for the next area of the game. But we are going to be stopping things in just a little bit once we do the one last thing I want to do. So we want to take our now empty bottle, thanks to Princess Ruto, and want to scoop up one of the fish that is swimming around here. You got a fish! User was seeing something might happen. For the record, this is like the only time in the game we are ever going to need to put a fish in a bottle. So it's kind of weird that they even give you the option of buying one. Because you really do not need these things for anything, other than the one thing you need to do in the story. But yeah, I believe that is where we are going to call things today. We managed to make some excellent progress in our adventure, managing to clear up another dungeon, and we are pretty much set to head to the next main area here. So, yep, this is going to be where we're going to end things off today. But next time, in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, we're going to go to Zora's Fountain and see if we can rescue Princess Ruto. Until next time, have a good day, and take care.